Okay. Certainly, this is about community pitfalls, right? Basically, these are the pitfall that is applicable to most of the communities or community builders, whether they are building for brand or growth is out there.
Yeah.
Any specific pitfall that you feel is important when you're building a category defining community?
So I think in my experience, like the way that organizations kind of create a successful and sustainable community, it's kind of like there's three elements to it. And I kind of pull them together in what I call the kind of V2C kind of framework. But you need to, one, kind of create value for members. Otherwise, there's no point for them to kind of like stick around. Two, you have to kind of create value for the business. And that has to be kind of aligned to kind of outcomes that they kind of care about. Otherwise, they won't continue to kind of invest and resource those community programs. And then thirdly, community has to deliver kind of a unique advantage over alternatives, right? So there has to be something unique about why you're using community as that solution to the kind of particular problem. And that gets back to this kind of direct, indirect way of delivering value, is that if what you're trying to do is kind of say increase kind of leads or kind of increase revenue, then it's often that marketing or kind of sales techniques will often be kind of a quicker, more efficient kind of solution. And so there has to be a particular kind of reason why you would choose a community to kind of solve kind of that problem. But if you can combine those kind of three kind of elements, then then you have kind of really kind of strong core to build a successful kind of community over time. They're not like check boxes though. It's not just like, oh, we have those three things, and so that's kind of a guarantee for success. You can kind of think of each as being a continuum. So the types of programs, the way you kind of execute them, will kind of impact kind of the outcomes kind of overall. But certainly, I've yet to see kind of a successful community program which didn't have those kind of three elements. I could probably kind of give an example to kind of I guess put a kind of that kind of real world kind of application to it. So the Salesforce Trailblazers community that started off with is now kind of an extensive kind of set of kind of programs, millions of members, things like that. When it first started out, like support was the kind of the key focus for it. So Salesforce at the time was one of the kind of fastest growing kind of businesses kind of in the world. They had a ton of demand around the kind of the product, and then a ton of kind of support on the kind of the back end of that, and they were kind of struggling to kind of keep up with that demand. And so the Salesforce kind of Trailblazers community ended up being kind of a great solution for that, because whereas they could have hired more support staff or created more documentation, since Salesforce is such a kind of a broad, flexible solution, it's very difficult to actually kind of like codify all of the kind of different potential kind of use cases and scenarios and things like that. What you really need are kind of experts who can use their judgment and experience to help you kind of craft a kind of custom solution. And that's what kind of community kind of delivered for them. It was this kind of like 24/7 access to experts who could kind of give you that kind of personalized kind of feedback. So that's kind of the unique community kind of advantage to them. Because the value then to members is that they're able to kind of solve their problems in a kind of faster, more efficient way than, say, going through typical kind of support channels. And then for the business, they're saving millions kind of each month in support costs, and they're able to kind of provide a great customer experience kind of at scale. So it kind of ticks all those kind of three boxes. And the interesting thing is that those factors are just as applicable now as they were kind of more than 15 years ago when they started that community. Because although Salesforce is now better able to cope with the demand for their platform, their product has only gotten more flexible, more complicated. And so you still need that kind of access to kind of experts to kind of to help you with it. And so their kind of community's gone from strength to strength because they have these kind of key fundamental kind of ingredients to their